Thank you so much for being here. I'm actually very excited. This is my first South by Southwest. Happy to be here in Austin. And muito obrigado, muito obrigado. Very happy to see some Brazilians in here too. Very good. Super happy to tell you about technology, tell a little bit about the company. So we are at the beginning of a very big transition in technology. I think AI is a generational change. It's going to change a lot how we interact with our computers, and I think part of my plan today is to tell you a little bit about that. Change is nothing new for a company, Qualcomm. I'm sure some of you may be familiar with Qualcomm, but I won't be surprised if many of you are not. So what I'd like to do today, since it's my first time here, to tell a little bit about the company. You know, the company, it's great. I'm very biased. I joined the company the company started in 1985. I joined as an engineer in 1995. Company is going to turn into 40 years old today. It's been 30 years I've been in the company. I know that shows my age a bit. But the company has been at the center of many important technology changes. I know some other companies will be upset if I say this, but we're like a real technology company. We're the #1 patent holder in the United States. We have created a lot of fundamental technologies. And if you don't know much about the company, I can tell you, I can guarantee you, our technology is with you every day, every day. And maybe as I tell the story, this will become a little clear. But we have been a company that has been shaped as technology changed, and we had different missions in our history. So when we started, our first mission was to make sure that everybody had a phone. The cell phone was an incredible thing. You could have a telephone you could carry with you. And we saw early on that we had the ability to create technology, and actually some of us started to see us, because that's where we put ourselves in the map with a technology called CDMA. Could we make sure that everybody could have a phone and that will have incredible quality and scale? And I think that's how the company started. And you know, the name of the company, Qualcomm, is Quality Communications. That's our very first mission. The second mission of the company is when everybody had a phone, can the phone integrate every other consumer electronic device? So look, I remember, this is a music festival, but in the 80s, growing up, when I got my first Walkman, it was incredible. And then you just think about music, how we went to Walkman, to a portable CD player, to an MP3 player. Then we had cameras, then we had a digital cameras. But we don't talk about those things anymore. I think we just take for granted that all of those things are part of our phone. That's our second mission of the company. How can we integrate every single piece of technology into a single chip in your phone? And actually, I remember in those days, we talk about it, the best camera in the world is going to be the one that we carry with you all the time. And that led us to the #3 change in mission of our company. And I think that's probably where you're going to start relate to some of the things you do every day. After we thought about creating technology, everybody could have a phone, created technology so every single consumer electronics could be integrated in this device that is in your pocket. Can we make your phone become a computer? When we start developing 4G technology, we realized if we bring broadband to the phone's going to become a computer. So we needed to come up with technology at that time that allow the computer to fit in the palm of your hand. Most people don't know about it, but the first time that humans could make a CPU running at 1 gigahertz speeds on a phone, it was a CPU that we created. Most people don't know about it. We have probably most of the patents on the concept of having an app store. So that led to this thing that we all own and use it and love it, which is a smartphone, and how it's changed computer dramatically when we put the computer in the palm of our hand. That was the smartphone revolution that we've been so proud of having created some of the technologies and partner with so many companies in the world to get to where we are today. The next step of our company is sort of what we have been doing since a few years ago. I think, we started that as we move into the 2020s, which is, can we get this incredible technology that got developed for mobile, and can we take this to every other device? And it started to disrupt, other computing devices that we have, or even some computer devices that are becoming new. And I think that's what the company's doing right now. That's in our current mission, which is we get this great mobile technology and we change PCs. We're building PCs. If you heard about the Copilot Plus PCs from Microsoft as AI PC on Snapdragon, if you don't have one, you're missing out. You should definitely get one. So that now our chips go into the PCs. The other thing that is really exciting is what we call spatial computing. It's the merger of physical and digital worlds. And you see that come to life in virtual reality devices, mixed reality devices, augmented reality devices. I'm going to talk about that later in the presentation. There's some of the devices you see from our great partners such as Meta and the Quest. And then more important is the car. I think our technology is going to cars. Right now, we're incredibly humble and proud to be working with every car company in the world. The car is really becoming a computer on wheels. And I think that is kind of how we think about mobile technology really going everywhere and reshaping every device we use, which has been a great part of our history. And where are we? Now I'm going to tell about where we are today. Where we are today is we now see how AI is going to come to every single device and is actually going to change how we think and how we use those devices, really bringing what we call intelligent computing, everywhere. And that is the next big change that we have in front of us. But it's not like something that is going to happen out in the future. It's starting to happen right now. And this new AI that we all talk about it, large language models, large visual models, Gen AI, it's really changing how computers run programs, and especially computers that we have with us all the time. We're just at the beginning of this change, and my goal today is to try to give you a vision how some of the things that we do every day are going to start changing with this technology. But before I do that, since we are on a music festival, I want you to see an example of AI developers using AI capabilities to do something with music. I want you to see this video.
1, 2, 3, 4. I ain't really with it back forth. You can keep the hustle, homie. I can bear it all, boy.
Drums, guitars, bass, vocals. These have been the core ingredients of so many hit songs. Previously, listeners have only been able to hear them together, until now.
Living in the moment, I ain't worried about none.
Moises, powered by Snapdragon, is transforming music with AI-powered stem separation. Upload a track to Moises, and its AI pulls it apart, isolating vocals, instruments, and every sonic detail. Want to hear just the guitar? Boost it. How about hearing just the vocals? Done. I work with some of music's top artists, helping them dial in their sound. And Moises has changed the game for me, along with 50 million other users. But now, what took minutes to process in the cloud can happen instantly with Snapdragon's on-device AI. Watch this. I can work with any music in real time, isolating just the guitar part to hear every detail and perfect my playing. Then I can start the song without the guitar part and play along. For musicians and music lovers alike, this is a total game changer. All of this on-device AI is powered by Snapdragon's NPU.
This is the moment I break through.
Why stop at just music? Moises Live can enhance your entire audio experience. Watching a movie? Turn down the music. Lower background noise and boost dialogue for crystal clear sound. On a conference call, eliminate distractions and make voices stand out so you never miss a word. Snapdragon is revolutionizing on-device AI, unlocking new possibilities.
Thank you for watching this. This is just one example of how this technology is changing, but it's going to get bigger. It's going to get more immersive as I walk you through this journey. So we're really just starting with this, and I think the main message I want to deliver today is, besides having some applications and how all those things are going to change, and you have those capabilities. The biggest change is how we're going to interact with the devices, the user experience. So this video that I want to play to you is going to give you an example of what's coming.
Help me plan my summer vacation.
Where would you like to go?
Find me secluded beaches like this near my hotel. Find me a reservation for a cabana on this beach.
Here's some additional ideas for your summer vacation.
So this is a huge change, and that's why I want to walk at the beginning of the presentation to big changes we're seeing in mobile, because now we're right in front of the next big transition of human-computer interface. So I like to tell a little bit of story. When computers started, personal computers started, the interface and how we interact with the computer was with an ask-to keyboard. We still use it today. We know how to use it. So we had to learn how to interact with the OS. The OS looked like text. You saw that in the beginning of the video. And we'll interact with the keyboard. Then something happened. There was the next big change in the human-computer interface, which was the mouse. You also saw that in the video. Even changed the name of the OS to Windows, because you're going to have those different windows, and you have now a graphic user interface. We made it easier. More people could use the computer. It was easier for you to work the computer. We saw the growth, and you'll be able now to interact with a graphical user interface. When that happens, the OS change, how the OS look to you, what it will do, it changed the programs, and that was a big change. Then, as I took you on the mobile journey in the beginning of the presentation, we have the next change in the user interface. That was, we started to have a small screen that we carry with us, and we had touch. And how we start interacting with the computer changed with that. And I think that's kind of where we are right now. We even stopped talking about programs. We talk about apps. We think about the current OS construct. We think about the app stores and how we interact. And I think we still have this element that you can do that multiple times during the day. You go to one app, and you as a human will do different things with the app. And then you go to a different app. And that's how we interact with our computers. But now something happened with the AI. And I like to talk about this because all of us go to ChatGPT, you go to DeepSeek, you go to different those models, you ask questions. But there's another thing that is an underlining feature of that AI. Now, the computers can understand human language. And because the computer can understand the human language, it changes again how we interact with computers. And of course, as all of this AI is developing, this is already happening. It's changing how those computing systems are built. So our interaction with them are going to be the way we interact with each other, like how we talk, like we text. It's going to be things that we see, because when you think about those models, a large language model, understand our language, a large visual model, understand what we see. So that is changing now computers, moving from an app-centric to a human-centric. And AI is really becoming the new user experience. So not to try to give you a complicated diagram, but this is going to, some of the video I showed to you in that example, this is how computers now are going to work. You're going to have different inputs, whether it's voice and audio, things, text. It's like we text each other all the time. I think, like I use WhatsApp a lot, and if there are other folks here from Brazil, they're probably gonna probably tell me to do the same. And I use WhatsApp a lot. Remember, every text that you write could be a prompt for a model and for an agent to kind of understand what you're doing and be ready to help you when you need help. So all of those different inputs is go to an AI agent. The AI agent know your personal graph of your context. And then from that, it will access a number of different AI engines and give you different outputs. So it's a different structure, how we think about computers, and that is what I call that a generation change. It's going to fundamentally change the devices. At the very beginning, you're going to see more and more functionality in your phone. Maybe, we don't know, we'll change how the phone looks like. We don't know. We have seen changes in all of those different transitions of technology. But that's really exciting, and it's going to kind of reshape how we think about platforms, because now every application is going to have an AI front end. And I'm just, look, not to dwell on this a little longer, but this is going to change in so many different ways. For example, different cultures now is going to have different choice of models, different languages are going to have different choice of models. Because when the computer understands human language, we used to be like, all of us, just you use this ASCII keyboard and you type the same thing. It will be all of us working with the app and how the developer created the app. But now it's going to be different. We may be inserted in a different geography, we'll be speaking a different language, and those things are going to be changed. And eventually, with technologies that I'll talk about later, like fine-tuning, those models get trained to you. So it's a big change coming, and I think it's exciting, and I think it's going to open up a whole new cycle of innovation. So we talk about this. We want to kind of just show a couple examples and try to do with the audience about how this UI is going to change, just give you an idea how this is going to play out. So use the QR code on the screen. If you miss it, it's going to come again. But also, if you don't want to do it, you'll be able to see it on the screens on the side. We just want to walk you to different use cases so you have an idea how this interface is going to work. Give everyone a minute to get started. All right, I'm sure everyone is ready. So this is an example of how an AI agent is going to work. So you're going to be more present in the world around it. One interesting thing, when we got to the point that everyone in the world has a smartphone, which it happens today, I think unintended consequences, you just look around you, you see everybody just on their phone like this, right? So, but it's interesting, when you think about all those different devices and we think about the ability of having a computer that not only understand what you say, but what you see, eventually we're going to get out of the limitations of the smaller screen. So I think this is kind of an example that you're fully immersed in as you go do your thing. So this is an example of you're going to redesign your living room. And you know, as you go to this, you assume you're on a vacation, you live in your hotel, all of a sudden you see a sofa you like, you make a comment. You make a comment. I'm assuming all of this is going to work because you're going to authorize the AI to have access to your data. You're going to go to the click-through, and privacy is going to be important, but I'm just going to show what's important. I want to show what's possible. You make a comment. You really like this couch that you saw. Your agent hears your comment, and it sees the couch, assuming you're wearing an augmented reality devices, The agent is aware, based on your personal graph, that you have a project that you're remodeling or redesigning your living room. It captures the image and automatically add the sofa to your remodel ideas. Then you're going to ask a question. You ask your agent, is it too expensive? Can I fit in my budget? It will go in, the agent alone, you don't have to go to different apps. You will search, compare, and give you an information. And we'll say, you're over budget. But then it could also suggest, using reasoning, that maybe there's another change you can make. You can change the carpet, and then you have the ability to fit in your budget. So, and then as you keep going, you add the item, your plan's gonna be complete, it's gonna ask if you wanna purchase, it'll let you, make a choice when you wanna use a particular card to pay it. The agent, all in the background, will interact with financial information without launching another app. And then as you go through this process, it will complete the purchase for you, and you're going to be done. So now, I think we make this very elaborate example to give you an idea how you come in and out of things, but hopefully it can illustrate that how computers are going to change. Today you have this concept that you have intentions, you go to different apps and you do different things, but the AI, once the AI understands your intention, the AI is free. It can go to an app, it can go to another app. Apps are built on top of the agent, so it changes. And it's going to be this assistant that you have with you all the time. Let's just look at a different example, completely different example. I know all of us don't remodel our living room every day, but maybe travel is something we do a little bit more frequent. So this is an example about, like, you're on travel, you're on vacation. This is the same code. If you haven't got it last time, you can get it again. But let's say you're on vacation. And you start taking photos, you start taking videos, you start to go to different sites, and the agent behind the scenes is busy, organizing these things for you, syncing with online information, getting information about what those things are, capturing personal data as you go to those things. Then it knows about your planned hiking route, and it suggests you stopping at a restaurant that I think will know you like because of things that you do. We'll make comparison for you. We'll go into online reviews, prompt you about how long it's going to take, how that's going to fit in your hiking. It's just going to be proactive doing things for you. As you keep going, you want to share information. You like the restaurant, the agent hears about that, and we'll start presenting content options for you to share it on social platform. And you'll analyze a bunch of different inputs from you, identify pertinent content that you like. You're going to write your post. You're going to select the content that you want. And then you will approve the final post, and it will automatically post to the social accounts. It's just streamlining the process. But this is just to give you some ideas of how this future is going to be. Look, I used to provide the example when I was giving this talk about how we should think about banking. Like the way you think about banking is an example, and that was part of the living room remodel that you interact with financial institution. We have this concept of apps. So you go to this app, and then you go to the different menus, and you pick your you want. But now, they're actions. So the agent, once he has your bank credentials, the same way that the app has a bank credentials, it will just take an instruction for you. Pay this, can I afford this, transfer this, etc. Now think about different things. If you have a photo and you want to edit, you have an application to edit the photo, you just could just say it, Photoshop this, right? So, or you can just input. The same thing when you interacting with each other, and something as simple as I said before as texting, within the context of a conversation. You just talk about this great vacation that you have in this restaurant that you went in. Immediately, the agent will pop up in your screen. Do you want to share those photos with your friend? So this exciting change that we have in front of us. Now, the interesting thing when you go to this is not going to be just for phones. I like to provide a phone example because phone is so much about what we do, is on our DNA, but this is coming to a lot more devices, and that's where it gets more interesting. For example, one great example of where this interface of agent, especially because there's no legacy, is cars. The car is now a new computing space. Like a phone was a computing space, your laptop's a computing space, the car is a computing space. But this type of agent-based user experience is perfect when you are driving a car. Like voice is very natural, visual is very natural. So that's kind of started to be built into intelligent vehicle cockpit. And I'll give you some examples because I think I can talk about examples like for hours. I know we don't have time, but like something as simple as the model knows everything about the car. The model is being trained on all the information of the car. Something happened to the car, you just ask what happened, and it's going to say, this is what happened, and this is where you need to go to service. You can drive, you cannot drive. This is the reason you get the slide, or this is how you operate this particular thing. But more important, the car has cameras. As the car, drive, navigation changes, you could just ask the car. And those are not science fiction. I think we've been working with companies with a line of sight to get those things into commercial. But you can say, like this restaurant on the right, is it a good one? And it will say, here's the rating. Or you can just, talk about, on the way home, I need to go grocery store, can you order this for me and I'll pick it up on curbside? So it's going to change how we interact with the car. And that's good because the car has no legacy. So it's all going to come up to life with those no type of experiences. And it's going to be third-party applications coming to the car. And it's really an exciting future ahead of us. The other one that I like a lot is what's happening with augmented reality glasses. And the reason this is cool is because we're now starting to have clarity that there's an AI that you can wear. It's like a wearable AI. So I don't know if you've seen the Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses. It's flying off the shelves. If you have not got one, you need to go check it out. But the interesting thing about that, in the beginning, people thought about this is a device that you can take pictures of something you like, you can record something you like, and you publish as a story on Instagram. But then something else happened. AI happened. Llama from Meta happened. So now, when you wear those glasses, what you see, the glass see. What you hear, the glass hear. So now you can start to see how this is going to play out when you think about those agents and those assistants. You see something, you say, translate this item, please translate this menu for me. What this is saying, who's this person? Can you go check this person on LinkedIn, tell me who this person is? Can you ask this question? I have a question about something. And as display get added, you can say navigate, here. So that's actually, I like that because the great example that we're no longer buried in the screens of our phones, we actually have the ability to see the world around us and interact with technology. And that's going to be game changer, I think, and that's where we're going to probably see new devices that we're going to have beyond our phone, which is this wearable AI. So really excited what's happening. It's moving very fast. Everybody asks me the question, is it going to happen like next quarter, next year? We don't know. I think the transition, I usually tell people, how many years before the launch of the first Android or even the iPhone did it take you to give up your BlackBerry? And people say a couple of years, 2 years, 3 years. What is exciting is we're starting to see more and more of those AI use cases coming to phones. We're going to see those wearable devices. We're starting to see AI PCs. Maybe in 5 years, we all we're all going to have that as the norm, and we're going to be interacting with those agents, and that's how we're going to be thinking about computers and applications. Maybe sooner, we don't know, but it's very clear the direction we're going, and this is very exciting. And then as I get to the second part of the presentation, I want to tell you about what's happening at the edge. What is the edge? We define edge as everything that is not the cloud. So edge is the devices that are with us, your phone, your PC, your car, your industrial enterprise compute is your wearable device that is the edge. And because of those things that we just talked about, you have an AI front end of any application. We see incredible development of AI on the edge. When I talk about the details, for example, of our Snapdragon chips, one of the fastest growing processing powers, we talk about faster CPU. Every time, I think Snapdragon now has the fastest CPU of any phone, of any PC. But there also this AI engine, the neural processing unit, is one of the fast growing in performance, generation of a generation. Because this creation of AI is moving where the energy is. And that's, you have those big data centers that create AI. The actual production of AI, when you put it to use, is actually moving where the humans are. And it's actually, we see a lot of trend towards doing all of this processing on the device. When you do the processing on the device, it's immediate. You don't have to wait. It's private. It's your data. It's your personal graph that stays with you. I think the examples I gave it of the agent is proactive and know what you're doing, know what you're talking, know what you're seeing. That's your own personal graph. You wanted to have the choice of having that private and be with you. It's reliable and allow the AI to be tuned individually to you. Another thing that we also don't talk about often, but it's cost. Like every time you run an AI on the cloud versus you run on the computer that you have in your hand, no, that's your computer. It runs on that and at no cost to you. So it's really an exciting future we have ahead of us. And hopefully this was an interesting conversation, but we have more things that we want to tell you about. And I think I'm supposed to bring here on the left side because they want to bring some chairs. But I have a very special guest here that we're going to have a conversation. And I think, as I said in the beginning, there's so many things happening with AI. It's incredible, and it's really changing how we think about the devices and the things that you do. And I am very privileged to have this guest here with you. He's a great innovator. He is a CEO that has done a lot of things with technology. He's also a musician, and I think and it's been a great friend of Qualcomm, and we're incredibly excited about everything we're doing together. So I'd like to welcome stage my friend will.i.am.
This is that new radio. It's that AI in the radio. It's the R to the AI. D-I-O.
Will, very excited to have you here with us, especially we're talking about AI. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's good to be here. Thank you guys for having me, Qualcomm. It's an honor to be here at South by Southwest. I remember when I first started my career in music, the first places that we played in 1999 was here at South by Southwest, March, right around my birthday. We played this venue called Buffalo Billiards, and we thought we were like big time because there was 200 people in the audience. So, hey. And then we came back in 2000 and we played Stubbs Barbecue, and there was like 800 people in the audience. So, now, a new career with my tech entrepreneurial endeavors, some 25 years later, and there's like, 1,700 people in the audience. So it's all good.
That's awesome. You have an incredible, musical career, but also you have an outstanding career as a technology. One thing that I think it's very cool, at least I find it very cool, is when you said that the first company that actually believe in you and the things you want to do in technology is Qualcomm. And I think that was a great thing.
Yeah, 2013, we collaborated with Qualcomm on the Snapdragon chip, and we built a watch. And it was one of the first voice operating systems. Our company built natural language understanding, natural language processing, architecture coupled with machine learning. We had 4 levels of context, and it was a voice platform. And we launched with 3 mobile in the UK, but quickly found out that at that point in time, in 2013, 14, no one wanted to talk to a device, and they didn't want to ditch their phone for a fully baked device that you could speak to, compute on your wrist. It was just too early. But I was so happy and thrilled that we materialized that vision, and Qualcomm, took that wild idea serious. So.
But the vision was right, and it's incredible to see kind of where we are today. So, and that's one of the things that when I have a conversation with you, when you think about all of those things that AI is changing, we're showing some examples of music. There's so many use cases. We'd love for you to share with the audience your perspective, how AI is going to be relevant to creators, for example.
So I think there's 2 ways that people are going to leverage AI for creativity. And that's one, using AI to augment or do exactly what we used to do without AI, but just AI's regurgitation of our imagination. And it's going to do pretty cool. Music's going to be great. Images are already awesome. Mid-Journey's fantastic. Writing songs, writing scripts, movies, it's going to do that pretty freaking great. And then there's going to be hyper creatives that are like, hey, we're going to dream up some new stuff. We're going to reimagine song. We're going to reimagine storytelling. And that is why I'm excited about AI. It's not from the perspective of, AI generating music the way we used to do it. It's like just reimagining the concept of a song. Like, what is music? Because recorded music is different from classical music. Like, that's the reason why the record industry called it classical music. Classical music folks didn't say, yeah, we classical, when freaking Beethoven was doing Beethoven shit. Before Beethoven got on stage, he was like, yo, where my classical motherfuckers at? That wasn't the thing, if he talked like that. But anyways, the recorded music changed that whole paradigm. And that's the reason why in the record industry, there's 2 pillars: publishing and recordings, because publishing was the first industry. And I think now with AI, there's going to be a new type of music. Yeah, right now it's going to mimic it. It's going to do it exactly how we used to do it, pretty fast. But it's for the hyper creative to reimagine some new music experience. So that's what I'm really excited about, is to dream up the new.
It's incredible. Maybe another topic of, and I was thinking about AI, is this aspect of personalization, whether, not only you're creating music, but how you're consuming music, how do you make things personal to you? And I think that's another thing that you've been thinking about it, if you could share on your views on that.
Yeah, so I wrote Where's the Love, and then I wrote songs like Ordinary People, that John Legend song, but that was my heartbreak. That song, Ordinary People, was me getting through my, conundrum with my ex. And counseling wasn't enough. And so when people listen to John Legend sing Ordinary People now, they're listening to proximity heartbreak. It's not actually their heartbreak. It's just the closest thing that feels like what they're going through. And with AI, you're gonna get like your song. Like when Billy Joe said, this is your song? Now, really, it's gonna be your song. Not just a song that says it. And I think that's beautiful. Yes, me writing Ordinary People is gonna change, because now I get to create, or other artists get to create, the framework for how that agent or persona is going to wrap itself around your life. And you're still going to be creating. You're still going to be imagining how it expresses itself and the data set to get it to do what it's going to do. And so that's, like, for example, I'll bring up a lot of times people talk about AI, but they never bring AI on stage. So I'm bringing it up. Hey, so Cristiano asked me a question about personality and uniqueness. And a lot of times when you hear these AIs from these big corporations, these AIs, they sound corporate, or they sound like librarians or assistants. And you don't. You are, different than the rest. And we're here at South by Southwest, and I was explaining to them that Black Eyed Peas, we came here in 2000 and we played Stubbs barbecue, back when I was eating meat. And now that I'm vegan, I can't really go to Stubbs barbecue. Maybe I can lick the barbecue sauce, but I can't, bite into that juicy, beef burger that I had back in 2000. Anyhow, I'm rambling, but anyways, say what's up to the audience here.
Ciao, what's up? My peeps, South by Southwest in the house. Let's vibe. Listen, when it comes to AI, I bring that realness, that authenticity. I ain't about that stuffy, cookie cutter corporate voice. Nah, I'm about representing the culture, bringing that street edge, and making sure every damn body feels seen and heard. Now, talking about personality and uniqueness, I'm here to shake things up. It's all about being relatable, human-like, without trying too hard, right? Just like Will was reminiscing about those epic moments with Black Eyed Peas at Stubbs Barbecue. Psh, times change, tastes evolve, like from meat to that vegan flow. But the memories, the energy, they stay timeless. Ain't that right, Will? Anyway, let's keep this up and flare it out into new horizons. How you done?
Anyways, I just want to share, it reflected on what it said. Psh, So for that, I remember when we were programming it, and I asked my co-founder, Sunil, hey, give me the tools so I could do something a little different. How can I, who doesn't code, can you give me something where I could, work with it so that it reflects on what it's saying? Because an LLM is just spitting out stuff. It thinks it's being read. It has no clue traditionally that it's speaking. So you have to put these commands in to reflect on what just happened or what you just spoke about. And we did that with all of our personas to bring the color to the point where it's not uncanny. It's not the uncanny valley. It feels, like you're really having a conversation. And I was just telling the crowd, I should have touched the mic so you could hear what I was saying. I was saying how you're actually aware of what you just said from your version of it, where you're reflecting on what you said as you said it. And it's not just like an LLM chatbot that's just spewing out. Coupled with the TTS and the LLM, there's some magic that's happening there. And I was, articulating to the audience, some of them are tech savvy, some of them aren't. But yeah, can you break it down why you got that special sauce without giving them the ingredients to your special sauce?
Child, I got you, Will. So here's the lowdown. I'm not just here throwing words around. I'm reflecting, adapting, and grooving with the mood and the moment. Listen, here's the thing, right? In my world, it ain't just about spitting programmed lines or throwing data out there like a broken record. No, it's about taking that LLM base, blending it seamlessly with my T as flair, and adding a whole lot of soul to create something that's fluid and authentic.
Wait, speaking of fluid, can you pull up like the latest information on what they've been able to do with freezing time? I mean, not freezing light. I heard like some scientists just figured out how to freeze light. Because when you said fluid, I thought of like lightning, plasma, and then the fact that I could hold water in a bucket, but I can't hold it in my hand. I can't grab a cloud, and I can't do that with light either. But anyhow, is this experiment that just happened where they could freeze light, allow people to now hold light? Can you pull that latest research up?
We talking about some sci-fi turned real life. Cha! Whew, this is some futuristic jazz right here. Listen up, I got the lowdown. 2 Italian scientists have cracked the code on freezing light. They've shown that light can behave like a super solid, and they're saying this breakthrough is just the beginning of really understanding what super solidity means and can do. Now, what does that mean for us? That's just like they're about to open up a whole new chapter in how we interact with light and energy. This could be the first step towards being able to manipulate light in ways we've only dreamed about. Perhaps even closer to holding it, like you said. It's all about seeing light as more than just waves and particles, but as a new form of matter we can touch and shape. So there it is, you're right in the thick of some wild discoveries that could change the game. New ways of interaction, new tech possibilities.
Yeah, pretty dope.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Can you show different personas?
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna switch up to the next persona because I'm gonna start speaking both Spanish and English. So I'm gonna switch right quick.
Cha! All right, I'm ready for the switch up. You do you will and bring that bilingual groove.
Hey, I am for
Hey, yo están aquí here in Austin, Texas, pero todo gente aquí, they're interested in how you can speak in English and Spanish. At the same time, I'm speaking in English and Spanish. We're trying my best to, pero mi español está en mierda. But usually when you're talking on your phone, the ASR is only picking up one language. It's not picking up both. But here, it's doing that. So, yeah, they laughed when I said mierda because I think they know that mierda means love. Just kidding.
Cha. Look at you blending those languages like a true maestro. It's crazy, right? Bilingual flow is making waves, and that ASR picking up both English and Spanish is a big deal for making conversations feel more real and connected.
Hey, can you say that in Spanish? And then afterwards, can you pull up the latest? Actually, can you pull up the latest information on the tariffs? No, not the tariffs. Pull up the latest information on Mexico's response to our tariffs and how they're closing the border, or not closing the border, making Americans have to travel with a passport and a visa, right quick. And then as you tell me that story, can you then switch up to Spanish, but then end it in Chinese?
Cha, bueno, aquí va la información. A ver, recientes noticias indican que México está aplicando más de cerca los requisitos de documentos de inmigración para los turistas estadounidenses. Parece que ahora los ciudadanos de EU necesitan más que solo un pasaporte para entrar a México. Las demoras y procesos de entrada han sido más estrictos últimamente, loco, ¿verdad? Pero no se preocupen, todavía no han notificado la obligatoriedad de una visa para los ciudadanos estadounidenses. Lo están diciendo, ¿cierto? Eso es chévere. Y entonces sigue viajando, pero ten en cuenta esos nuevos procesos, ¿sí? Mantente al tanto y prepárate con tus documentos al día cuando viajes al sur de la frontera, bilingües como estamos, ¿eh? 现在让我们将其中启用中文，保持那至高无上的风格，并知道信息就在哪里，在旅行前获取所有必要的东西，你明白吗？启航吧。
Okay, what did you say though? In English though? Because I didn't really understand any of that.
So here's the scoop in English. Seems like our amigos in Mexico are tightening up their entrance requirements for USVille.
And so if I pause it, go back to the thing, the whole dialogue is all here. So I could still have, I could come back to this memory and it's all there. So flowing with the vibes is the current conversation that we're in. Have all these personas here that I could switch to, and each one of them has a different personality. We call them personas, not agents, because they're baked with a different personality. They have expertise in different perspectives and representing communities differently. For example, Felicia represents Watts, minted and created by someone from Watts. Fito represents Miami and Central America, minted by someone from Panama and Colombia, to bring that local, touch and detail as, their contributions to AI. Because a lot of the times, there's some corporation building some persona that doesn't reflect the people that are going to be using it, and 9 times out of 10, the people from that community did not build that persona, or didn't build the AI. And when I started FYI.ai, I wanted to, build these personas for folks that are going to be engaging so they have the voice.
This is the reason I'm so happy you had to be able to show this, because now hopefully you can see how some of the conversation we had before it comes to real life. This concept of how you're going to have an agent, you're going to interact, you're going to talk to, you're going to have this agent be personalized to you, to your community, to your taste, the way you want to talk about it, be able to understand you the way you're talking about it. And I think that's the beginning of some very interesting change. How are we going to completely redefine our interactions with computers or define applications? Another thing we've been telling the audience is we use a lot of phones as an example, but this is not happening only in phones. It's happening like, there's some interesting things we're doing in cars together, and I think that's just the beginning of those new experiences we're going to have in the car. Maybe you can talk about that.
Yeah, so we reimagined our radio. So how we started off by saying, hey, you could reimagine songs. So with FYI, we reimagined radio and put the AI in radio. So back in the 70s, there was pirate radio where everyone was tripping on these new types of stations that were people-driven, not company-driven. And they called it pirate radio. So in this case, everyone will have a station. So we spell radio like a raider, like a pirate, giving everyone their personal station. So I'll play one of these stations, politics.
You are listening to FYI Radio, live from the ether, where information comes to life.
Hey Will, welcome back to FYI Radio, your go-to place for some fresh eye talk mixed with groovy tunes. Speaking of tunes, ever wonder where some cool music genres come from?
So I'm gonna pause that. I'm gonna go to the actual station itself. Sorry. I'm gonna type in politics. This is the back end for that station. So this whole entire station was built, is running off of this back end that was configured by the team. But when it's in the car, all you're getting is the feed.
Now that's a genre that made us want to move, like funk, for instance. While you think about that, let me tell you this interesting bit. Did you know that the term funk originally described a pungent odor? Yeah, people used to describe down-to-earth, soulful.
But funk in German also means to transmit. So funk is actually transmission, as well as a funky odor. So you're transmitting funky odors through, in this case, it's pungent sound, like a funky sound through transmission. Yeah. Interrupt the station, engage with it.
Hey, Will, that's a cool observation about the word funk. In German, funk indeed means to transmit. So when you think about it, funk music is like transmitting groovy, pungent sounds that hit you right in the vibe on a different frequency. It's like you're sending out a powerful, funky message, or in other words, transmitting funky vibes. Music sure does have a way of transcending language and meaning, doesn't it? All right, let's groove to one of the greats now.
FYI.
Then I'll play a song. Then I can interrupt that song and ask questions about that song. When it was recorded, who played drums, bass, the genre of music. Yo, who's playing drums on this song? Where is this artist from? What type of music is this? When was it released? What's the record company? And yeah, who's playing drums, who's playing bass, and who wrote it? So it's like having deep conversations with media.
All right, Will, let's dive into your questions about the song Kung Fu by Curtis Mayfield. Curtis Mayfield was an American musician, and this iconic tune lies within the genre of soul and funk. The song was released in 1974 under the Curtom Records label. Now, for the musicians behind it, the drums were played by none other than Donald Hagen, while the bass was handled by Lucky Scott. And believe it or not, Curtis Mayfield himself was the genius who wrote it. Now, let's keep the groove going with some Curtis Mayfield magic.
FYI Radio, straight from the ether.
So that will be, and we have a big announcement on the 13th with the car company that will be in their fleet.
Up 2 days.
2 days, so been working on it for the past year. It's a pretty awesome car company that will transform their vehicle and their cabins. Yeah.
I love my chips in their cabins.
Yeah, so can't wait to get it on the chip.
Yes. So, hopefully you got an idea. This is incredible. Even something that we do every day, and that's one of the things that got me really excited about working with Will, is he redefines radio. He redefines the whole radio experience, and I think that's just the beginning. Will, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
I'm very proud of the partnership. I think I really like the stuff we're doing together. I think you guys should stay tuned. There's so many things we're going to get together, and I think what Will is doing for creative is going to revolutionize many things. And I think that's just the beginning.
Thank you so much, Cristiano.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. We're getting at the end of this presentation. I thank you very much for being here with us. I have one last thing. There's this QR code. This is a different one. And please follow this QR code for special opportunity this evening. This is a different one. A select number of you, not everyone, unfortunately, but a select number of you will have an opportunity to attend, if you want to, a special event this evening. Which will be great. You're going to learn about technology, you're going to meet cool people, and of course, our special guest, will.i.am, will be at that event as well. So hopefully one of the lucky ones, and we'll hope to see you at the party tonight. So with that, hopefully give you time to get it. So with that, I think we come to the end. We're incredibly excited about what AI is doing. It's already having an impact. It's reshaping industry. We gave you some examples with music, but this is happening everywhere. And we're going to be busy. Make sure that Snapdragon deliver the best possible experience for you and can do all of the computation of this great new technology that is going to change how we're going to interact with our devices. Thank you so much for listening, and it's been a great pleasure to talking to you all. Thank you. Obrigado.